Hi, welcome to Out Front. I'm Katrina Barclay in Calgary.
There's money a bonny lass in the Hawkton lass.
There's this guy you've got to meet.
Money a bonny lass in the Gary.
He's different, that's for sure.
There's money a bonny Jean in the Tuna.
Never leaves home without a full-size golfing umbrella.
And 5-EO.
Uses non-sequiturs with complete disregard for the natural flow of conversation. I mean, the guy sports knee-high socks in the summer. Full-on colonial style.
Bind up your yellow hair, take a last farewell, oh, your daddy, oh.
He's a displaced Scot, uprooted 40 years ago from the bonny banks of Aberdeen to work in Alberta's booming oil patch. Yeah, this is home, but he misses the old country, and, I suspect, would go back in the wink of Nessie's eye. In order to sate his Highland yearning, his family allows him complete cultural control one day each year. Robbie Burns Day, the celebration of Scotland's poet laureate. In his eyes, this day's bigger than Christmas, more fruitful than his birthday, more thrilling than the World Cup soccer finals. He assumes the role of patriarch uncontested, shining in the glory of this, his night. You've never seen a man in such top form.
Captain was sorry, oh.
Although Mr. Knee-Highs would never admit it, everyone knows that for him, Robbie Burns Day is just a guise, a convenient kilt covering the hard truth underneath. He's expropriated Robbie Burns Day to push his own agenda. It's his perennial chance to express the deepest layers of his staunch Scottish eccentricities, and no one will say anything. In fact, it's all part of the show. He's the celebration. He's berserk. He's my dad.
The world, unfortunately, has got two totally distinct camps, one of viruses and one of bacteria, and I've somehow ended up in the bacteria camp.
So you've got a cold?
I get a very bad cold. And a sexy voice.
Is it a good voice for addressing haggises?
Undoubtedly, particularly when some of the fire is quenched with satanic liquids like single malt scotch.
With Robbie Burns' festivities only a day away, it looks like he may be out of commission. This is a major upset. Keep in mind, Dad's our Robbie Burns Day general, the one leading the charge. This year, the general's going to have to yield some control. So what did Dad say when
I asked him if I told him that we should have other vegetables, and he said, no, just meats and tatties, and that's it.
On more than one occasion, our feisty Ukrainian-Canadian mother has openly expressed reservations about honoring Burns. Every year, she reminds us about his fondness for the ladies and his proclivity to love them and leave them, with a little Burns on the way. He's a rogue, she's always said. But Mom's participated dutifully in this night for over 3 decades. A year without the usual Barclay-Burns hullabaloo would leave a gaping void. Which is why, with Dad off sick, Mom assumes control with the aid of my brother and I, assuring the Robbie Burns show will indeed go on.
Look, Brussels sprouts. A good Scottish vegetable. I don't think it is, but we're gonna get. Don't you think that will go well?
Definitely.
We need more than one dish. We don't need a lot of these, do we?
No.
Okay, not. This is just for the vitamins, because I don't think those Scots get a lot of vitamins in their diets in the middle of winter.
No, Scotch broth. We need broth.
We need to get a soup bone.
Onions?
Oh, we got lots of onions, so yes, of course, lots of onions.
So how much are we at already?
$153.95. And that's probably because of smoked salmon, which we really didn't need. All we need is meats and tatties, you know.
So is this kind of going against what Robbie Burns Day is about?
Well, absolutely, but we got the heather, it's okay.
Is this what happens when you mix a Scot and a excessive Ukrainian shopper?
Well, of course, that's the contrast, isn't it? The good Scot and the spendthrift Ukrainian.
So if Dad had come and done the shopping, how much do you think this would have cost?
Oh, about $43.
11-penny W. Smith cookbook, which is the best Scotch broth we've ever had, I think.
I don't believe so, Bill.
Yes.
Mom won't let Dad's dripping nose near the food. So he just follows her back and forth.
So that stuff in there and dried peas?
No, you don't put dried peas in.
Oh, I do.
Scotch broth. Do not put carrots,
Can't we
onions.
fight over this? And it must have oatmeal in it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't think it calls for oatmeal. We'll cut the meat into the soup. This will be one hell of a soup.
The gentle smell of Scotch broth wafts through the house. But before long, Dad succumbs to his ails and takes an early bed. Mum and I are left to plug away into the wee hours.
500 sprinkle.
So why are you doing a roast and a haggis?
Because not everybody likes haggis. And you need lots of gravy on top of your haggis, too.
I thought everyone liked haggis.
I don't think so, Katrina.
Do you like haggis?
I don't mind it. I wouldn't like to eat it more than once a year, though.
What's more important to Dad, the haggis or the Scotch broth?
Oh, I think it's a combination of everything.
Because the Scotch broth seems to be pretty important.
I think it's the whiskey. I think it's the... I just think it's the whole concept of everything together. The pomp and ceremony and the knifing the haggis to death and all that stuff is all part of the tradition, and they love every minute of it. They do.
Think it'll be a good time?
It's always a good time. People get in the mood. And
Are you looking forward?
oh yeah, I always do. I actually love the address to the haggis and toast the ladies. That's fun, and the music and the singing. That's always crazy. It's just my soup I'm worried about. It's a little weak. I'll just tidy up a bit and I'll be in bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night, Mom.
Night, sweetheart. Thank you.
Good night. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine.
So what are we gonna do now? What's our plan?
Well, we got to get moving here.
What are we gonna get moving?
Well, we have to clean the house.
Do you think it'll really be that difficult?
To clean the house?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. The roast is in.
Excellent. How's the soup? Oh, you haven't checked.
I have to go get it.
Dad's still in bed, and with every sneeze or cough from down the hall, Mum and I exchange a worried glance. Well into the afternoon, he finally emerges.
Dad, it's 2:30. How's your cold?
Pretend-wise, under control. In reality, out of control.
So how do you think you're gonna be feeling in 4 hours or so?
Out of this world. On the edges of the universe. Imbued with the passion of Burns.
How are we doing for preparations for food and house?
Everything's great. The soup's done, trifle's done, the turnips are peeled and cut, the potatoes are peeled in a pot. What else do you need? Got the haggis. Well, we haven't got the haggis quite ready yet, but that'll be last minute. We got the neeps and tatties, so we're ready to go.
Wait a sec, Dad, before you pour mine, present the gift.
Brother Neil arrives with the mandatory fire-quenching liquids.
A gift.
A gift.
Oh, that was awfully sweet.
One of the six classic malts.
Let's have one of this.
No, let's,
Yeah, we'll have one of each.
The lineup for tonight includes neophyte Anya, a Polish-Canadian who hasn't even heard about Robbie Burns until today. Semi-neophyte Al, his only other Robbie Burns night being in Libya. And Old Hats, Chris, a convert of 3 years, and Marg, the official Barclay Burns Day piano player. Let the games begin.
At any Burns supper, there are a lot of roles to fill, so I'm going to be addressing the haggis, which is about 8 or 9 verses. I'll do my best.
where's the music?
Cue music!
There we go.
So the haggis has just been paraded around the living room. Al Jenick holding it up over his head as if it was a trophy, and Dad following behind him. So he's magically pulled his knife out of his hat where it was, and we're getting ready to address the haggis.
Fair fa, your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race, aboon the ma you tak your place, painch tripe or therm, weel are you worthy of a grace, as long's my arm.
They say that from the moment a sick actor walks on stage, his illness miraculously disappears.
All Scotland wants they skinking wear the jougs and luggies. But if you wish her grateful prayer, gie her a haggis.
Now I can do the Selkirk Grace. Some hae meat and canna eat, and some wad eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, and say the Lord be thanked. Amen.
Well done. Amen. Thank you.
Wow.
McEwen.
It has consistency of like
one.
Okay.
bandy mashed potatoes.
You know, I'm afraid that
It's the Scottish
does
butcher
nudge
on
out.
second
And it
guy.
tastes a little bit like
The
liver
moisture.
paste. It's awesome. Is there a wheat in there, or is it all meat? Oatmeal.
The other
It's
one.
oatmeal.
Yeah.
But you like the taste? Yeah. It's very strong. At first, but yes.
That's not quite right.
And he was a great man, worthy of remembrance, and I'm glad all of you came tonight in order to remember him. To the immortal memory.
The immortal memory.
Here's Teas.
Here's Teas.
Was like us. And you go to the bottom line. Damn few and there are deed. That's the whole purpose of that thing, if you read all the way through it.
I still remember my first Robbie Burns day. Mom and Dad filled my little juicy cup, my sippy cup, with single malt. Back then I had to mix it with water, of course, but it was like a Scottish bar mitzvah. Really, it was. There's no presents, of course, but that's the Scottish part.
In the Garriock go. There's many a bonny Jean in the town o' Aberdeen, but the flower and the moth is 5 years.
We've actually been practicing for weeks.
So how did tonight rate as far as your Robbie Burns days go?
Depends what time it is. What time is it?
It's 7 drams past the hour. 7.5 in Newfoundland.
I won't lie. I've always suspected Dad's imbued with the passion of Burns thing was a bit melodramatic. But when Mom, my brother, and I actually had to put the celebration together ourselves, I realized the significance of the Barclay Burns Day isn't only about Dad after all. I now realize that from the very first Robbie Burns Day I can remember, Dad was subtly beginning to sow the seed of tradition. And because of that eccentric transplanted Scot, every January 25th for the rest of my life, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I'll track down some heather, address a haggis, and raise a dram in honor of Robbie Burns, my Scottish roots, and, most importantly, my dad.
You're all very brave. You're all very brave.
In Calgary, I'm Katrina Barclay. This is Out Front.